नमस्ते, जय श्री कृष्ण।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु। We'll say the seventh shloka of second chapter, which is Arjun's Prarthana and which is our Prarthana too. And I think because that one Prarthana, the whole Bhagavad Gita came out from Bhagwan's mouth. So, and for us it is Bhagwan's Prasad. So we'll say that. Seventh shloka, second chapter. Karpanyadosho upahat svabhavah prachami tvam dharma sammudachetah yat sheyasat nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. So Arjun said, Bhagavan, I'm confused, I'm deluded, and then just guide me to the right path, which is Shreyas. And that one prarthana made this Bhagavad Gita come out of Bhagavan's mouth. So the answer to one prarthana is the entire teaching. So we are on, today we'll complete 16th and 17th chapter. And then next week will be the last, right? So it's almost 12 weeks are done. So we'll just recap very quickly. Last week we did 13th and 15th chapter. 13th is called Kshetragya. And we saw Kshetra is the field in literal terms, but in Bhagavad Gita term is the body. Kshetragya, the one who knows the body, the awareness. So up to five senses, mind, even the intellect, and that ego identification, everything is Kshetra. Everything is imperishable, impermanent. And that is called Kshetra. Anything which has an expiration date is Kshetra, field. A Kshetragya, the awareness, that's the only one thing, which is, we can call it Atma also. And in us, that is called awareness or Atma, synonym, or Sakshi Chaitanya. Multiple names are there. But that awareness is the Kshetragya, the who knows this body. And Kshetragya is nothing but Paramatma's reflection. So that's what Bhagavan says, even Kshetragya means Paramatma also. So Paramatma sitting in us is Kshetragya. And the Paramatma sitting in us knows the whole what is happening in the body and around the body. So that was 13th chapter. And why we need to know that, why Bhagavan is telling that? Arjun is in the battlefield. Arjun is kind of confused about the action he has to take, his kartavya or his swadharma, because he is identifying everything to body. My grandfather, my kingdom, what will happen to me, what will happen to them. It's all body. So Bhagavan once wanted him to raise his awareness to not to the body. You are not this body, you are awareness. So it was already talked in second chapter, but in 13th chapter, Bhagavan re-emphasized in detail that, hold on, you are not this body. And it is not about Arjun. That's the reason Bhagavad Gita we read, and it is relevant to us these days. We are all body-centered people. I mean, when we are unhappy or frustrated or even happy, elated, joyful, not joyful, it's all about the body and mind. It's all in mind, all those chemicals in the mind. So Bhagavan is saying, you are not that. I mean, you are confused. You are the one who is aware of all these things. That was 13th chapter, Kshetragya. And the 15th chapter we saw Bhagavan. 15th chapter is a very popular chapter. Many people have memorized this. It is called Purushottam Yoga. So Arjuna asked the question in 13th chapter about Purush and Prakriti. So Bhagavan answered, Purush means, Prakriti means the whole creation. we can say, is the Prakriti. We call it nature, but Prakriti. Prakrishtam Kriti. Organized creation is Prakriti. It's not random. And that's why we see that all the planets and everything is in a system working. We see there are many galaxies, and every galaxy has its own sun. All we see that, right? We can see that. How they are maintained, right? It's a Prakriti, properly created. There is a center, sun is the center of that. Every planet has its own gravitational force. All those things we know, right? And the plants, animals, everything is in order. That's why it's called Prakriti, properly created. Who's create? The Purush, which is Bhagwan. So Purush, that's why Purush Shabd is used for us also, because we are that Kshetragya. So in continuation, that in 15th chapter, Bhagwan talked about, and Bhagwan says, I am, like I means Bhagwan. Bhagwan is the Shesht Purush. That's the Purush Uttam. Uttam is, Bhagwan is the best. In fact, Bhagwan sitting in us is the best, not this body. And that's what Purushottam he says. But one thing he told Bhagwan in the beginning of the chapter, and we saw that it's a very famous analogy. A lot of people do that. He talked about the sansar is an inverted tree. Inverted means the roots are up and the tree is growing down. And he gave the example that root means Bhagwan. The tree is originating from Bhagwan, but this tree, the root is up. The root is not down because Bhagwan is up there. Bhagwan means divine. So from everything, divine, and then the branches are like our sansar, our things, our material possessions, all those branches. And the example he gives that branches are getting expanded in one branch, second branch, and the sub branches, and there are birds in the branches from, and he's talking about the people tree, which is Aswath tree, which is a family of banyan tree. And we see banyan tree. Just now, our daughter, she was in Hawaii, and she sent a picture from Hawaii of a banyan tree. Banyan tree has the roots coming from the branches, and they go on the ground, and there are multiple roots. So, and Bhagwan is saying, look at the sansar. You create your sansar like that. Your desire, and he's giving example. Those branches and leaves are desires, and the fruits, and they grow, 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 and the tree become too big, and then you are entangled. So Bhagwan says endless sansar. So then he says there is a shlok where Bhagwan says the only way to come out of that is dradena chatva asanga shastrena dradena chatva. And how this tree entangle us? By attachment. Sang means attachment. And Bhagwan says you have to find that weapon which is sharp, hold it tight. And that weapon is called asanga shastra. Asanga means vairagya also, detachment. Not detachment means running away, not being entangled by the sansar. And Bhagwan says, cut this tree. Cut this tree means cut all the desire, branches, which is expanding. Let root be there because root is Bhagwan. So our goal is to become part of root. And that's what the whole 15th chapter was. Very, very nice analogy. A lot of people have a lot of writing on that. So that was Purushottam Yoga. So now Bhagwan goes further, and then we are on 16th chapter. 16th and 17th we'll do. So 16th chapter is called Dev Asur Sampadi Vibhag Yoga. Very nice chapter. And it's kind of, it relates to the 14th chapter. I mean, we are doing in rush, but you can go back. That's why I'm recording. You can go back and refer things. So 14th chapter, if you remember, it is Gunatraya Vibhag Yoga. We are created of Prakriti. Prakriti is nature, and we call it Maya also. So Maya has three attributes: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Sattva means whenever we are feeling good, we are like in pure state of mind, or joyful, or we have some awareness, that is called Sattva Gun in us. When we are passionate, we are running around, running for the things, and like a lot of energy for having something material, that is called Raj. And most of all Rajoguni people, because we are result oriented people. America is like in our corporate world, we just talk about results, KPIs, corporate, that key performance indexes, all the chart and everything. And that's, we are running behind the results at home also. So that is Rajas. And third is tamas. Tamas means lethargy or pessimism. And we all get that sometimes. I don't want to do anything. I don't like this. And I'm so upset. All these upsetting things are rajas and tamas. So Bhagavan says, so that is 14th chapter. Now in 16th chapter, he is giving the qualities came out of those guna. Basically, mostly it is sattva, but there are some rajas also. So sattva gun, so that is called, 16th chapter is called Dev Asur Sampadi Vibhagyo. Dev means we call it Devatas. The word has come from Div. Div means which is bright, Div, and that's what Diva word, like we call it Diya, but Diva is like that. And Devata is from the same thing, which is bright and which is enlightened, or you can say. So that is Dev. And what is Dev is Devik. So the qualities which gives us enlightenment, which are shining, are called Devi Sampada. So the 16th chapter, Devi and Asur, and there are demonic quality or demoniac qualities. There are two types. So Bhagavan will talk about. So we'll see how much we can cover, because we have half an hour for this chapter and half an hour for the next. But this is a very good chapter, and this talks of, basically, if we can translate into modern day, this is the value system. We'll see in the 16th chapter. You can read later on detail. But Bhagavan is talking about all the values, positive values and negative values. And Bhagavan is a good teacher. It's not like he's just giving the goody picture of life. He says, yeah, this is good, but there is this part also which you should avoid. So that's the quality of a teacher. So Bhagavan wants to make sure that you understand both. So before we get into that, very quickly, Devic qualities means, in simple terms, we'll look at that. Says, for example, Arjavam. Arjavam means straightforwardness. We'll see there is a quality. Straightforward. We say, I like person who is straightforward. Straightforward, truthful. You say what exactly it is true. So that's a Devi quality. But majority time, most of us had told us, somebody told us in my childhood or school or wherever we go, Bal Vihar or satsang like this. Yeah, you have to be truthful. We all get it, right? But what happens is a human psychology here. And Bhagavan is going to talk about that, right? So what happens sometime, because somebody told me I have to be truthful, so it becomes an obligatory value, not the assimilated value. There is a difference between. We all behave forcefully. Somebody said, like, don't say the lie in childhood. And I say, oh, I should not say because my dad or my mom or my teacher told me. But do I understand why should I say truth? And that called assimilation. So one is, I'm obliged to my teacher or my books, so I have to say truth because, I mean, it doesn't look nice to say lie. No, see, then your obligatory value. But assimilated means I understand why should I say truth, and that's what Bhagavan is going to talk about. So 16th chapter, we'll start, right? Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. At Shodashodhyayah. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Abhayam Sattva Sanshuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Danam Damascha Yagyascha Swadhyaya Tapa Arjavam. So there are next three shlok only. Bhagavan has given almost 20 qualities. We don't have time to go to everything. You can go later on, but we'll cover some of them. So the first quality Bhagavan says, Devik, which is divine quality. Divine does not say Bhagwan's quality. It's a gentleman's quality, we can say. Everybody should have. Abhayam, fearlessness. And we all know that, right? Fearlessness is required. Anything we do, most of the time we fumble because of the fear of losing something. And the entire Bhagavad Gita teaching is that you don't own anything. There is nothing to lose. You just perform your duty, and ownership will take off, not the duty result. Most of us are doing action for the result, and Bhagavan says that is not in your hand, and you're grabbing something which is not of yours. You don't know, and that's what we fail. So Bhagavan says, And that's the fear always. Oh, I'm fear of losing. So he is saying the first quality of a devotee or a divine quality, which is of a devotee basically, or sattvagun person, is abhayam. So it's not just a fearlessness. It is absence of fear. So there is a difference between fearlessness and fear. Ravan was fearless. Bin Laden was fearless. All these terrorists going around the world, they are fearless people. They don't have fear of cop. They don't have fear of any. So that doesn't mean they have abhayam. They are nirbhay. There is another word, nirbhay. But abhayam means is a divine quality. So that's all. There is a word called abhay. So abhay means absence of fear. And once you have the divine quality, then you don't even fear because there is nothing to lose. And that is fear Bhagwan is talking about. He's not just talking about ordinary, because even Ravan, that's why example is Ravan was fearless. But he's not talking about the Ravan. He's talking about the one who has sattva gun and then fearless. And typical example, like Gandhiji's example people give. He knew people, and number of times he was attacked, and somebody said that time that somebody is going to shoot you. He said, "Oh, they're going to shoot this body." So that's fine. I mean, Atman doesn't go anywhere. Gandhiji understands Bhagavad Gita. Many are there. One example, Gandhiji, because he's a known person, but there are many people like that. My own grandfather, he was sannyas. He was like that. He was very fearless. And I mean, it's a true thing. His backyard, when he used to do prarthana, he was a sannyasi. He took sannyas later on. His ashram, in the backyard, evening, he used to do prarthana. So there were two snakes used to come and sit there. So, and one day that the guard, he heard that Swamiji is talking to someone, and he came and he saw like people in the backyard, and he was sitting there, and the two snakes were sitting like that, and he was kind of shocked. He started yelling at Swamiji, said, "Oh no, don't do that. They'll get disturbed, they'll run away." The next day he says, "Swamiji, we have to kill them." He said, "Why?" "Oh, they are like poisonous snakes." He said, "No, they come every day. When I do prarthana, they come and just sit like that." That is abhayam. Because when animals is also feel that you are not attacking them. So abhayam, that's what in our Jain Shastra also and many Hindu Shastra also, we translate abhayam with non-violence. Non-violence is a characteristics of your consciousness, and that is abhayam. So and anyway, a lot of discussion, we have to move forward, but that abhayam means that, right? Because and you're always, there's nothing to lose, nothing to gain, so you're abhayam. Gain in the sense material gain. So, and then the other quality, sattva sanshuddhi. Sanshuddhi means purity of mind. And we have talked about like the sattva gun in 14th chapter talks a lot about that. Yeah, so we will move forward quickly with some of these, right? And there's a Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti. Jnana Yoga means again, Swadhyaya. We can say the study what we are doing. Or Jnana Yoga is not two words, it's one, right? It's like a for desire to learn, that is Jnana Yoga, right? The process to learn is Jnana Yoga. Vyavasthiti means committed to that. You're established, your commitment to that learning is firm, and that is a quality. And nobody can deny that, right? Even for ordinary school study, we say, oh, you have to focus on your studies learning, right? That's what he's saying for Adhyatmik Jnana, he's saying. Gita class or whatever, we do a lot of things. The purpose of these Gita and study is not just to know things. Knowing and then become obligatory. Oh, Gita says I should not be eating this thing, I should be eating vegetarian. Gita is not saying for it. Gita is saying you understand this or not. Gita is not instructing, don't eat things. Gita is explaining. You are convinced? Then yes, if I, like most of us are vegetarian, we are not vegetarian just because it doesn't look nice to kill anyone. No, it doesn't. It is I don't feel like killing anyone. And I always give example of Mr. Fred Rogers, who was in Pittsburgh. He's no more. He was a teacher for like kids. He had a program, very famous program, My Neighborhood. And somebody one time, it's a recorded video. One time he was teaching kids, and he was a vegetarian. And one of the little kid asked him, like 4 or 5 year old kid, that Mr. Rogers, you are a vegetarian. So why are you vegetarian? And his answer, very profound answer. He says to a little kid, you cannot give the philosophy to little kid that why vegetarian. He said, I cannot eat anything that has a mother. What a profound answer. That is called understanding, assimilating the value. Mr. Rogers got it. I'm working with kids. For a kid, mom is the life. Mom is everything for a kid. And now his answer is, I cannot eat anything. A chicken has a mother. A goat has a mother. So I cannot anything that has a mother. That's so that is called the Devic quality, assimilated Devic quality. And then he says, Bhagavan says further, Danam damascha yagyascha. Dan means, of course, sharing with others. And Dhamma means not suppressing. It's a self-control. I if I had to do something, I decide to do. And then there is example given always. Somebody does something which can make me angry. Yeah, that person has done definitely something in normal sense, I should get angry. And that person knows that if that person does, and I can get angry. Now, what he or she is doing is his or her own choice. I should get angry or react, that is my choice. But if I based on his or her behavior, I do that, then the control is other person has that. And that control is called, self-control is called dhamma, not the suppression. There is an English word is very wrong. This is suppression. It's not suppression. It is the power of not getting angry, not suppressing the anger. Like Bali Sugriv, Bali had the boon that anyone comes in front of Bali will get half the power. That's why Bhagwan killed Bali from behind the tree. Because even Bhagwan's power he'll get. So Bhagwan says, if he gets my half power, then nobody can kill Bali. So Sugriv, I'll have to shoot him from the. So this is like Bali. All these external things they take our half of our power. Somebody in front of me does something wrong, that person has taken half of my power. I'm half weak, and then I'm going to react. But if I am like powerful, then that person cannot disturb. It is my choice to get angry or not. That is called Dhamma. And then Yajna, Swadhyaya, what we are doing. The translation of Bhagavan says that Swadhyaya means self-study. Swa Adhyaya. Adhyaya means study. Swa means self. So what we do is we call it Swadhyaya. What we do is, the reason is that when I hear, there is a 3-step process. Shravanam means I hear in the class or anywhere, or video or teacher. Mananam, then I regurgitate, like chewing gum we regurgitate. And then Nididhyasanam, assimilation. I eat something, I eat banana. The purpose of banana is not filling the stomach. Purpose of banana to get the potassium. Purpose of eating the dry fruits or fruit juice is to get the energy, assimilation. So purpose of this knowledge is not just fill the stomach. And that is Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is not just listening and reading. The 3-step process. Yeah, of course, reading and listening is Shravanam, then Mananam, then Nididhyasanam. It becomes part of me. It becomes my character. That's what assimilated value is. And that is Devi. So anyway, there are many you can read later on, but we have to move to Asuri. So from 4th, there are all 19 of them, like non-violence and helping others. There are many of Tej, Kshama, forgiveness, Dhriti, perseverance. All there are 20 of them. There are standard values, right? So then Bhagavan talks about the Asuri also. So one word is Dev, and we saw like Dev, it has the root word is Dev. Dev means which is bright and pure, we can say. That's why we say, oh, this is a Devic person. Or we call them Devta, Vayu Devta, Pavan Devta, all those. Because they're pure, they make us pure. But there is Asur. Asur means demon. The word has come with Asusu Ramate iti Asur. Asu means body, the material, you can say. The one who is always reveling in the body. And that's what most of us, we call them Asur. We say Raman was Asur, Mahishasur. We are all Asur in that sense. We are all, Bhagavan is saying it is not just Ravan and or Mahishasur Asur. Anybody who's like constantly Ramantam is enjoying the body is Asur. So by that definition, we may fall in the category, right? Unless we have the divine quality. So Bhagavan is now telling the attributes of Asur also. So you can, I mean, he's telling Arjuna, everybody is getting benefit. So we'll read some of them and then move forward with the 17th. Then we have to come to 17th chapter. So the Asur Sampatti starts from, say, shlok number 4. We read shlok number 4, but there are 19 of them. 3 shlok, 4, 5, 6. So fourth, Bhagavan said, Dambho Darpo Abhimanascha Krodhash Parushamev cha Ajnanam cha Abhijatasya Partham Sampad Asurim. Bhagavan is saying these qualities. Like, this is fourth shlok. Bhagavan is saying, Parth, Dambh. Dambh means, Dambh means pretending the claim. Right? Somebody else did, but I say I had done that. That is called Dambh. Dambhachari, there is a word to use that. We claim somebody else's, and we do that all in our job and society, people, and in Mandir also. And somebody will take the credit. You feel, oh, I did that, and this person is taking the credit. A job also. So taking credit of somebody else's work is called Dambha. So, and that is Asuri quality. The people who take the credit of somebody else's work is Asuri quality. I mean, it's not that Ravan is the Rakshas. All the people who are doing this, they are also Asur. Then Bhagavan says, Darpa. Darpa means arrogance. Who doesn't say arrogance is bad? In this world, even little kid understand arrogance is bad. Nobody wants to be a friend with arrogant people all the time. There are some exceptions. So arrogance is Asuri Sampati. If you are arrogant, you are Asur, like that. Abhiman, like that false pride. Abhiman, we have to know proud or false pride. Right? Krodh. Bhagavan is saying Krodh is Asuri. So it is not he is talking about Mahishasura and Ravan. these are in normal people also. So what Bhagavan is saying, whenever you have these things in your appearing in your body, you are in Asuric mood. You are in Asuric form. But when the good qualities are there, you are in Devic form. If you have Abhayam, you don't have fear of anything. It is not fear of anything, you become careless about things. You're very careful, but not fear of that result or outcome. You're extremely careful. That's what Bhagavan says, Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. The perfection in action is the yoga, not the perfection in result in you. Never said in the Bhagavad Gita. Then, in fact, he says, Ma phaleshu kadachana. You should not even talk about Phal Arjun. The whole purpose, Bhagavad Gita, Arjun was saying that we may win or they may win. Bhagavan says, who are you to decide who is going to win? Just be in the war, that's it. If you are divine, if you're on truth side, you will win. But you don't decide. You do your, and that's what Bhagavan says. Anyway, all those qualities are there. So it could be Asuri in our, and Bhagavan keeps going that. So we'll stop here because we'll have to touch 17 chapters. But all remaining, Bhagavan is talking about the Asuri qualities. But one shlok we'll read, which can be the summary of all these Asuri qualities, the 18th shlok. And it says, Ahankaram balam darpam Kamam, Krodham, Chashans. Gyan, you might remember this, right? We used to do in Vidya Mandir. Mamatva Paradeheshu Pradvishanto Abhisuyika. Again, he's repeating. Ahankar means ego. Darpam, again, false ego. Desire, unnecessary desire. Krodh is an Abhisuyika, criticizing others. And we all know that we always criticize others in their absence. Very few of us have courage to criticize someone on their face, right? Criticism is always when in the absence of someone. So Bhagavan is saying that is Asuri quality. In absence of someone, if you criticize, that's Asuri quality. And he's saying all these things are bad. And Bhagavan says in 21st law, Narakasya Dwaram. We say there is a word called Narak. Narak means hell. The word which is not good word, but the English translation. So Bhagavan is saying all these qualities take you to hell. I mean, and we know that, right? We always say that, right, these things. And he is saying Narkas Dwaram. All these demonic qualities are 21st slok. Narkas Dwaram. They are the door or gateway to the Nark, the hell. We have to use that word, but anyway. And what Kam, Krodh, all these qualities, all these demonic qualities, they take you downward or down, like downhill. So that's what this chapter is about. So Dev and Asur qualities. And with that, Bhagavan says, at the last sloka, Bhagavan says, uh, where do I find the resource for these qualities? So he says, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Vyavasthito. The answer you can get or understanding from the Shastra. So Bhagavad Gita is a Shastra. Anyway, there are many other, but it is the simplest. So Bhagavan says the source of all this knowledge is Shastra. And Shastra means not just the written book, even the learned people who had gone through. So right resource basically. When we say, use Chat GPT or Copilot, there is a training that how to use I do that all the time. This I know that. There you have, and in fact, I was reading the article other day, and who was that? Who was either? I think it is. I don't know, one of the. I think it was not Warren Buffett. Someone, yeah, somebody asked Warren Buffett maybe that what is the best skill of this time? There's so many things are changing. His answer was that the best skill is how to learn a skill. That is the best skill. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. How to learn a skill is the best skill. So how to use AI is a skill. AI is not a skill. How to use AI is a skill. So Bhagavan is saying that is Shastra. Shastra tells us what is the right way to use these qualities or do. So Bhagavan is saying go to Shastra for these things. And with that, Arjuna asked the question, which is segue to 17th chapter. And Arjuna when he heard the Shastra is the ultimate source, then Arjuna is asking the question in 17th chapter. The chapter is called Shraddha Trayavibhag. Now Arjuna has a very nice question. And he is saying in 17th chapter, Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha At Saptadasho Adhyayah Arjuna Uvacha Ye Shastram Vidhim Utrajya Yajante Shraddhayanvitaha Tesham Nishta Tushka Krishna Sattamaho Rajastamaha. He's asking very profound question. We can read, you can read detail later, but he's asking Krishna, those people who don't follow the Shastra. He's saying Shastra Vidim Utsraj. There are people who don't follow the Shastra. What kind of Shraddha they have? Because everything is Shraddha. Shraddha means that conviction in Shastra, the right resource basically. So people who don't follow the right resource, what type of Shraddha they have? Either it is Satviki, Rajasi or Tamasi. So now I think one of the beginning of the session, Vimalji today is not here, but he asked this question. Randomly he was asking some discussion we had, and he asking that Shraddha also has types, and here is the answer in this chapter. And we all know Shraddha means basically conviction or trust or faith or respect. We call many words are there, but Shraddha is a popular. For Hindus, everybody understands Shraddha. I have Shraddha in Bhagwan, I have Shraddha in vegetarian diet. That's Shraddha. Shraddha. That conviction is the right thing is Shraddha. The right thing is Bhagwan, or something divine. So he's asking if the person who doesn't follow the Shastra, that person Shraddha is what type? Is it Satvik? That is 14th chapter. Satvik means pure. Rajasic means it's just desirous. Or Tamasic means for something negative. Oh, so he's asking question. And then entire chapter Bhagavan is going to explain that. So we won't have time to go to each shlok, but we'll take some of the shlok and then we'll conclude with 17th chapter. But they are in continuation, 16, 17. So Bhagavan is answering in second, third, and fourth chapter. Shlok, Bhagavan is answering here. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, second shlok of 17th chapter. Trividha bhavati shraddha dehinam sa svabhavaja satviki rajasi chaiva tamasi chetim tashunu. Remember, if you go to 14th chapter, there Bhagavan says there are 3 types of gun. And here now he is saying everything. In further, Shraddha, Tap, Gyan. or dan. There are 4 or 5 things we do. All have 3 types. And it very nicely described in this chapter. But he is saying, so the people, based on the sabhav, if you have a satviki sabhav, the Shraddha, your Shraddha will be satviki. If you have tamasi, rajasi sabhav, your Shraddha will be raj. I'll go to mandir, but I'll ask for Bhagwan, my material desire should be fulfilled. That is Rajasi Shraddha. And many of us do that, right? We go to mandir, we go to other Tirthasthan places. You know, there is a Tirthasthan in Bharat. One, I think it's in Himachal Pradesh. There is a mandir, Devika or something like. वहाँ पर, if you go, I went there. वहाँ पर there are, like, you know, the ghanta, the bell. There are many hundreds and thousands of bell are there, choti badi, choti badi. And it is said that if you go there and you ask to Devi, or I think this Devi's mandir, and you put, if your that whatever desire is fulfilled, you come back and put one bell there. And now there are so many that there is no place there. That means people have come back. I ask her, something happens to me, and if I get a house or I get a child or something, I'll come back. And that people know, oh, we had to go back and put the bell because my desire or my ichcha is purna, right? And then do this. So there are so many of them. But that is Rajasic Shraddha. Bhagavan has said in the Bhagavad Gita, I don't partake in your karma. Bhagavan doesn't talk about karma phal. Just karma is the goal, not phal. And he said in the 5th chapter, there is a shlok, na kartatvam na karmani lokas sajati prabhu. Bhagavan, Prabhu means the niyanta. Niyanta doesn't take part in your karma phal. That is your karma phal. Bhagavan doesn't take and give. So that's what Bhagavan is saying. That is Rajasi Shraddha. And then Tamasi Shraddha, though, like Ravan. Ravan did tapas. Oh, he was standing on one leg for whatever they call it, 7 years or 10 years. And then Shivji kept chanting Om Namah Shivaya. Shivji like manifested in front of him. Itni tapasya kari. And what he wanted, nobody should kill me. That is Tamasi Shraddha. Mahishasur, he got like, or that, oh, nobody can kill me, and that's why Bhagavan has to come and Narsimha one to kill him. He said, no human can kill me. So Bhagavan has to take Narsimha avatar. That is Tamasic Shraddha. And so if we are asking something which I say that, oh, it should benefit me, but it should take away somebody else's benefit. If that is Tamasic Shraddha. So that's what it is very well explained. Further, we will not go to each and every shlok. And then for third shlok, and I'll skip third shlok, we'll go to the fourth. Yeah, so we'll see fourth, which is more relevant to us. Yajante satvika devan yaksha rakshansi rajasah pretan bhutu gananchanye yajante tamasa jana. And he's saying, Sattvic people, they worship divines, like hum log Vayu Devta or Ganga, is for all those, Bhagwan, of course. And Rajasic people, they worship Yaksh and Rajasa. We have that, you know, there is India, there is a tradition called Tantra. We all hear that. And you see all in the movies and all, they are sitting somewhere in that cremation ground and doing some kind of, and they say it is Shiv Puja, and that is Tantric. That is all Rajasic or Tamasic. That's what Bhagavan is saying. The people who do this, Bhutgano, I mean, people, you know, here also in Western world, they'll call the spirit, right? And they say, spirit will come and help me. India also they do that. Here also they do that. They call the spirit. There are like, there are studios somewhere written that you can talk to spirit and all that. That is Bhut, we call it Bhut. That is all. Bhagavan says that. That's not the Shraddha, that's Tamasic. So anyway, Bhagavan keeps going on. We'll have to skip few more shlok. So I'll go to one important shlok on 23rd. And Bhagavan keep explaining. Same thing he's saying about tap. Like if you're doing tap for the benefit, then that tapas is Rajasic. If you're doing tap for the purification, for preparing yourself for a swadhyaya, that is sattvic. If you're doing tap for somebody else's, and people do that, India, there in many places, not India, all over the world, there are pujas, there are rituals to harm someone. some enemy, people killed enemy. That is tamasic. That's what this chapter explains, all those. We have to skip that. So we'll go to the shlok which is were relevant to all of us, 23rd. And we'll see why Bhagwan is bringing that shlok. So 23rd shlok, Bhagwan is saying, it's a very nice, you can read that in your piece. It's a very independent shlok, but it's very powerful. And Bhagwan is bringing, because this is all about, he's talking about सात्विक श्रद्धा और सात्विक तप और सात्विक यज्ञ or sattvic dan. What and how do we complete that? Here is the technique, Bhagavan has said in 23rd shlok. Om tat saditi nirdesho brahmani stri istividhi smratah brahmanasten vedascha yagyascha vihita pura. Bhagavan is saying, very nicely, Bhagavan is saying the Brahman, which is Sachidanand Brahm, Bhagavan is known by Om Tat Sat. And you see this word many places, like in the Mandir it is written Om Tat Sat. People write Hari Om Tat Sat. There is a bhajan, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat. Bhagavan has explained Bhagavad Gita what is Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari is Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is saying Om Tat Sat are the attributes, are the name or the designation of Brahman. Brahman means Bhagavan, we can say. So Om is name of Bhagavan. And the definition of Om in Sanskrit is Avati iti Om. Avati means protection. The one which provides the protection is Om. And it is true. There are few doctors, they have done the research, and they say if we chant Om, I do that. If we chant Om, it provides protection. Protection, they say, it's not something is physically coming, provide protection means. Let's go back to the first quality, Abhayam. Now Bhagavan is saying that by doing all this, what you get the first quality, Abhayam. And there are 20 of them. 20 means Bhagavan said 20, but there are many. But we need to understand the example given in our Shastra. A table has 4 legs. And if you want to pull table towards you, you don't pull 4 legs. You pull 1 leg, 3 will come to you. Automatic. So all these qualities are like that. If you are Abhayam, the rest everything will come with Abhayam. That's why Bhagavan says Abhayam is the first quality. Then Abhayam hai to you get the Ahimsa also, you get the Satya also, everything will come to you. But how do you get Abhayam? By doing this Bhagavan's name. And Bhagavan's, what is Bhagavan? Om. So when we chant Om, that's why we say chanting Om provides the protection. It is given in our Shastra. And the Gayatri Mantra is an extension of Om. It provides protection. How does it provide protection? And like again, I'm going to the neuroscience. By chanting Om, typically whenever nervous system, which is sympathetic nervous system, is the cause of nervousness, is cause of stress and fear, fight and flight. That is sympathetic nervous system. We all know that. It's a neuroscience, right? And parasympathetic nervous system is digest and rest. When the vagus nerve activates, when the parasympathetic nervous system activates, you feel quiet, and that's what we call digest and rest. Rest means peace, and digest means your gut is healthy. And that's why you say, I have a gut feeling, or my gut says that. So Om what does, and it is a research, by chanting Om, you shift from the sympathetic nervous system, which is a cause of stress and fear, to parasympathetic system, which is a cause of peace and rest. And you do it, and it works. Om, if you can chant Om for like 15-20 times, you feel that peace. It's a science. It's not just Om. Om is doing that. Our rishis have done that. Now even the science agrees to that, right? And then he says Tat. Tat means that. And so there is the purpose of the teaching is to reach to that equation, Tattvamasi. That's the essence of all our Hindu teaching. Tattvamasi. Tat means that who, that eternal, that Bhagwan. Eternal means Bhagwan. That is Tat. And in our Om Jai Jagdishara Arti, there is a word come, Tum ho ek agochar, sabke pranapati. Gochar means senses. Agochar means which cannot be felt, which cannot be diagnosed, which cannot be touched by senses. That is agochar. So we say Bhagwan ko tat. Agochar ka simple translation is tat. You cannot be touched by senses, these senses, physical. It has to be in the consciousness, and consciousness is not senses. Mind is also a sense. So mind is just, that's why when we go do dhyan or samadhi, we get into that state where the awareness is there. Or Bhagavan is in the consciousness, we can say. So that is Tat. And Sat, of course, Sat means existent. From there, Satya word has come. The Satya means truth word has come from Sat. Sat means existence. And existence means being, which is always there. It's like tree is always in the seed. You don't see that. You cut the tree, you don't see this tree. There is no tree if you cut the seed. But we know it is there. So existence of the tree in the seed is Sat. It is always there. It will sprout. So that is existence, which is always there in any form. And like we say, Einstein said that energy never dies. That's what he's saying. Sat. Energy is Sat. It can be electricity, it can be any other form. So Bhagwan that is Bhagwan. Om Tat Sat. And that's what Bhagwan is saying. That is the Nirdesh means the designation. And that is a designation of Bhagwan. So if somebody asks, suppose, what is the designation of Bhagwan, Hindu? If people ask this question, and I go to interfaith meetings and all those things, and Abrahamic people, because some of the tradition, even you cannot talk about God. That's it. You just cannot. It's a blasphemy if you define God. They say that, right? I mean, there are traditions. And they ask me, and I say, I can define. And some of them, they enjoy that also because it's interfaith. I mean, America, I mean, they're all educated people. And so I said, yeah, I give the definition. Om Tat Sat, that is the definition of Bhagwan or God. So that's what this shlok is. A very, very nice shlok. Very few people go into detail, but it's very nice. So Bhagwan says, and why he's saying here, you can read it. The purpose of that, to get those divine qualities, Devik Sampada. This is the way. It's very simple. And Bhagwan has said to Arjuna in one of the shlok, Yuddhascha mam anusmaraha. Very powerful line. I love that line. One of the shlok in Bhagwan says, Yuddhascha means Arjun, keep doing the war. Yuddha, whatever duty right now his duty. Mam anusmarash. Keep me in the mind. Anusmara means constant my remembering me. Oh, it's a challenge. Right? You are in a war and remembering it. So Bhagwan is saying, by doing this, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat. And that's what Ek Onkar Satnam Guru Nanak has introduced in Granth Sahib. The same thing he's saying, Ek Onkar Satnam, Om Tat Sat. That's it. He has written in Guru Mukhi, but the same thing he's saying there. Om Ek Onkar Satnam. They also say Bhagwan, but not in the form, but say Om Tat Sat. That is Bhagwan. The Bhagwan saying. So Om Tat Sat ka dhyan, if you can do, keep doing. And Bhagwan says, Yuddhascha, yuddha bhi karte raho. And then you get abhaya. That's what the quality defines. So anyway, this chapter was all about the quality. So we'll have a few more minutes. So we'll go to the last shlok of this chapter. So again, he's repeating. In the last shlok, Bhagavan is just kind of little bit of warning also. If you don't follow, he has already said, but the 20 shlok is 17 chapter. Ashraddhayahutam dattam tapas tapasah taptam kratam chayat ashraddhaya no asadhi asat iti uchyate partha nacha tatpretya no iha. He's saying bina shraddha ke, if you without shraddha, if you do home, if you do dan, if you do tapas, that doesn't give any fruit. Fruit here says again not Bhagavan Phal that give any result. Like we do all this for what? Peace of mind. The assimilation of these qualities. If you do all these without Shraddha, you cannot assimilate those qualities. So if I do Swadhyaya, or if I do Yajna, or if I do Dan, like Dan means sharing with someone. There are many stories, people, and I love that story. There is a lady, she's no more. She was the founder of Theosophical Society in Boston in 1913 or something like that. There is a story about her that she used to travel around the world, and she used to throw the seeds. Madame Zizowski or something like German lady. So she used to throw the seeds and then just move forward. Somebody said that wherever you go, you have a bag of seeds. You just throw the seeds on this. But why? She said, I throw the seed because they'll become trees someday. Whether you may not come to this place again, right? You're just randomly visiting. She said, so what? Somebody else will enjoy the fruit or the tree. That's why my purpose is not to come back and see who is enjoying. I just want, and called with that is called not doing with that intention or motive of gaining something. And that is Shraddha. When you don't have personal desire behind that. And Bhagavan is saying, when you have that, then you can have divine qualities. So Shraddha is the basis of having the divine quality. Shraddha in teaching and Shraddha in Shastra. So we can end here with the divine qualities. And what does it divine quality mean? There's a small story which will explain, and then we'll stop here, right? So Guru Nanak used to visit to many places when he was traveling, like around 500 years ago. So he used to give lectures and everything and talking about all things. If Granth Sahib is full of this Swadhyaya and tapas and all those things. So he's talking about the divine qualities like this. So somebody came to him, and he was a rich man of the town. People invite rich people when the pravachan and all this happened. So after listening pravachan, and he told Guru Nanak Ji, he did pranam. He said, Guru Nanak Ji, what can I do for you? He said, what can you do? He said, no, you don't know probably me. I'm the richest person at this town, and you ask for anything, I can give you. And Guru Nanak said, okay, let's do one thing. And now the whole crowd is sitting, and Guru Nanak gave him this needle, small needle, sui. We call it needle, right? He said, take this needle, keep with you, and whenever we'll meet in heaven, because you're such a nice person, and hopefully, so we'll meet in heaven sometime. Bring that needle to me in heaven. Can you do me? You said you can do anything. Now the guy is challenged. He didn't say anything because in front of everyone, he said, okay. He took the needle and out of kind of embarrassment, and he took it and went home. And his wife said, what happened? You're very upset. He said, no, I went to Guru Nanak to offer something, and he gave me this thing that can you keep this needle? We'll meet in heaven. Bring it there. So she said, why did you accept it? He said, I felt like I told him I can do anything. She said, nobody can take this. How can you take this? So he said, okay, I'll go. In the evening, he goes when Guru Nanak was alone. And he says, Guru Nanak, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I cannot do this. You take your needle back. And Guru Nanak tell to him that, so if you cannot take even little needle with you when you go leave this world, what about all the wealth you are telling me about? The only thing you can take with you is a Devik Sampada. People will remember you if you do some right thing. We remember a lot of good people just because of the Devik Sampada. Nobody wants to remember Raman. For a joy, we do Ravan Dahan. But the purpose, we remember Ram. Nobody remembers Mahishasura. We remember Prahlad. Nobody is going to remember Kans. We remember Krishna because Devik Sampada. So Guru Nanak says, if you can carry something, you can only carry Devik Sampada. You cannot carry all these material things. Then he got the lesson. He said, I'm sorry. I was, and that is called Devik Sampada. So the one which goes with us, that is Devik Sampada. Goes with us means the one which can be remembered after I'm gone. That is Devik Sampada. We all say, oh, what a nice person I is. So we'll stop here. It's 9:58. And then we'll meet next week. Will be the last. We'll go to 18th chapter, which is Moksha. We started with Vishad. First chapter was Arjun Vishad, the depression, and kind of lost everything. Moksha is fulfillment. It's not moksha is going to Swarg. It's liberation. liberation from all kind of fear, abhayam. So next week we'll close with that moksha, sannyas yoga, the chapter. So we'll stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Boli Boli Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki Jai. Hari Om. And thanks for joining, and I'll see you next week for the last class. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice Shubhratri. And see you next week. Hari Om. Jai Shri Krishna. When you're back, आप वापस आ गए भारत से? Yeah, that's good. How everything is good? Now you're on mute, right? Yeah. Purnima ji, you're on mute, right? Yeah. Or maybe your sound system. Okay, that's fine. So we'll talk about it. Good. Yeah, good to see you back. Yeah, you can watch all the recordings. I have recording. I'm going to post everything. Okay, chaliye, Hari Om. Namaste.
जय श्री कृष्ण अंकल।
जय